I'm doing good.
You feeling good?
Yeah.
Jack was live.
Man,
You know you're not recording, right?
That's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast, Whose Mans Is This? A podcast where we talk about life, culture, relationships, and I guess Chris will often say some things that make us ask, whose man's is this? Jackson's been saying stuff like that too.
Yeah.
You're kind of wild.
I don't know whose man's I am, man.
I don't know whose man's you are too.
You can be my man.
But we're going to find out.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. Ding dong.
There you go. Whose man's is this?
Is that a pause moment?
As always, I am Pax, and I am with some of our favorite people. Jackson, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Good. Caleb. Isaiah.
Man, I'm great. Superb.
Good. And then Chris, how you
Hey,
doing?
man, this guy cracks me up, yo. What is good? I'm good, Pax, man. How you doing, man? You look
Good.
beautiful today.
What are we talking about today?
Hey, man, today.
Don't talk about how I look.
The
What are we talking about
jacket
today?
looks leathery,
Hey,
man.
all
The
Right.
jacket looks
I
leathery.
feel abused.
Wait.
Don't ask the animal that they used
Hey,
to
man.
get that leather jacket for you, though.
Yo, isn't leather like... I ain't gonna... Never mind. All right, guys.
Go ahead.
All right, question of the day, my beautiful black men.
Mm.
All beautiful black men. Who came up with that?
I don't know.
No, we
That's not a phrase.
No, it is.
No, it is beautiful
No,
black men.
It's
No, we
beautiful
said-
black
It's not-
women.
No,
not.
beautiful.
No one
I
says
think
No,
people say
I've heard
beautiful
people
black
say
men.
beautiful black men before.
You
I think
say
no,
that.
No
people
one
say that to
says
encourage
it.
us.
You say this.
I think
we
people
know
say that to
if
encourage
nobody
us,
says it,
bro.
I'm starting it. All right. Sure. Beautiful black men. All right. Our question for today is: what do we wish, as men, women knew about dating us men?
Sheesh.
I'll say for me, I feel like the women that I've interacted with don't understand that I don't get signs. Like, and that's just like individual people, especially when it comes to like dating, and you're trying to like get to know someone.
Question, you're not talking about astrological signs.
No.
'Cause I don't get that either.
No, that's a whole nother. That's
like Gemini and stuff like
that's
that?
a whole
Yeah.
nother episode. That's a whole nother
Yeah.
episode. But no, it's more just
You hate
like
my sign.
when I'm like talking to someone and we're like pursuing a relationship. I need you. Okay, there's some things that I should be able to get. Like
Well,
there's some things that like if you're like angry, you don't need to tell me that you're angry. I should be able to pick up on signs like that. But certain like certain cues.
Give an example. Yeah, give an example.
Well, I'm not gonna put myself on the spot here,
Mm.
because that's the past. But certain things like maybe like you want me to do something, and I'm not sure exactly if I'm supposed to do that yet because I'm already in my head, and maybe that's just a me thing. But sometimes I feel like women expect us to pick up on more than they're actually putting down themselves.
I get
It's like they expect us to know like the move they make on the board before they make it, and that's not fair.
I think girls want us to... I think they just really feel good when you know them so well.
Yeah.
They want you to be Houdini.
But I'm
not even Houdini. I think they like when we study them and we understand their
Yeah.
vibes.
No, they want you to understand how to deal with women, right?
Okay.
That makes you look better, in a sense.
You might have a better answer, Isaiah. What should women know about us?
What should women know about men? Well, there's a
That we
little
love
bit of
sex.
Yeah. I guess so, right? Like, sure, you can go along the lines that I think women kind of have to do their, which they kind of already do naturally, right? They can understand that a dude's coming at them a certain way, like, okay, he's probably just wanting me for my body and sex and stuff like that, so they'll dismiss him, right? And I guess in a way, how to deal with a man. What can you do when you date him? I'd say like being courteous, just being courteous and kind. If you could just do that, see what he needs in his, like what you could help him out in his life, right? He'll notice that. He'll be like, wow, hold on, wait.
Yeah. I think girls underestimate, and I hope I'm not coming across as some like misogynistic pig when I say this, but I think girls underestimate like how much they can pull guys just by looking good.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, and I think oftentimes, girls who think they're pretty put more effort into their looks. But I'm saying no, like you like consistently get your hair done and wear a good outfit. That does a lot. I mean,
no. That would definitely get a dude in the door.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that women don't really know is they don't know how to keep a guy.
Oh yeah.
But they know how to get the guy in the door. They think once they get the guy in the door, it's
well,
there.
let me say this. I think women, especially when we think about marriage, are really have the role of being a helper and place of peace. We talked about that earlier. Every man, no matter how strong, no matter how courageous, no matter how successful, is a little scared boy. Every man.
Yeah.
Every man is a little scared boy. And I think whether he's working on his career or working on, trying to make it out there, he at some point is going to get beaten up and question, oh man, am I enough? Am I doing enough? Yeah. I think every man wants someone that he can run to and they can fill him up again. I'm not saying you just have to be a cheerleader who only says positive things.
Reassurance.
But I think when a woman provides a reassurance and comfort and peace to him, that when he's not feeling like a superhero, she can make him a woman that makes a man feel like a superhero is like, that's who guys want.
And I think the reality is, I think girls don't do that nearly as much as not even that. I would say what you just said is perfect in the sense of it's in society it's looked at as, okay, yeah, men, we're supposed to do that for our women. We're supposed to always reassure them. Let them
I think we should.
like that.
Yeah,
but I think at the same time it's like, yeah, obviously we should, right? But I think what you just said, it doesn't happen nearly as enough for the other way around.
I think it was like, I saw Michelle Obama in an interview once say, like, she made a rule for herself that while Barack was president, she would never talk about things he should have said, things he should move in politics, because all day he is hearing people in his ear saying, you should have did this, you should have did that, you should have did that. When he comes to her at night, she wants to be the person where it's like, hey, you're doing great. And I respect you. And it's like, I think that's a good thing.
We talked about this in our last part, or I talked about this a little bit in our last podcast, but being, in a sense, like, if you could show that you're in your guy's corner, he's going to want you to stay in that corner.
Yeah.
He'll do everything that he can to keep you in that corner. So, like, you kind of secure your spot if he could, like, look at, like, this is my partner, they got my back no matter what, and they'll have your back no matter what, if they could.
What do you think qualities in a girl? I mean, of course, every guy's looking for a different thing.
Of course.
But what in a girl makes a guy scared of being exclusive? Like, okay, I think a lot of guys oftentimes will kind of keep girl in that stage of like, I want you around, but I'm not necessarily going to like make you my girl. What do you think makes guys realize, oh no, I want us to be exclusive. I want us to be in a relationship. I want that now. Like, not necessarily just you're my side piece, but no, I want you.
I don't know. And the easiest way I could put it is if you show that you could be a wife, right?
Do you guys feel like your husband material?
Husband material. Right now, where I'm at, actually, no. Because I mean, the crazy thing is, like, initially, when you hear that question right away, you automatically are gonna think, oh, heck no, I'm definitely not there. But if I were to have to get married next month, do I think that I could have a successful marriage? Yes. Do I think that it's the best case scenario? No.
In what ways could you improve to be more husband material?
I would say probably. Okay, let's define what husband material is.
Well, like we've talked about what wife material is before. I don't know what girls necessarily look for, but like, we know some of the qualities that girls want. For me, I feel like I gotta be a little bit more emotionally consistent. I think a girl needs a rock that she can depend on. I don't know if I'm always that. I think sometimes I'm a little bit flaky and I'm like, I'm not really all the way in this.
Yeah.
And there's times where I'm just kind of like, I care about myself and nothing else. I think for me, it's almost like getting better at committing to things and sticking to things.
Yeah. I think I have husband qualities. I think a lot of people have husband qualities. But one thing in life that I try to do is like to never stay stagnant. So I never want to just say like I'm husband material right now.
Of course.
But like if I do get married, I want to continue to show the qualities that make me husband material.
So what are the qualities that make you husband material, and then what are some qualities that you need to get better at or strengthen?
I think dependability is like a major thing. Like your wife has to be able to depend on you because you guys are a family unit now. And you guys are unity. You guys are together now. I think another thing is financially stable. I know that's kind of like, that's not always easy to do, but I feel like we're at the point in our lives to where we can control when we get married. So as long as we can do that, we can make sure that we're all financially stable in some way, shape, or form. Another thing, I want to say confident, but not in just like confident in things, but confident in like myself. Because like right now, sometimes my mind like dwindles, like, dang, like should I be doing this or should I be doing that, or should I be with this person, should I not be with this person? But as a husband, you should, that confidence should never waver. Like if you're married to someone, you should never be like, but what if I didn't marry this woman? Like you can't, like you can have those like moments, but that can't be your mindset.
It's the sureness.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that brings up a question I really want to ask you guys. So is the thought of cheating, right? Because just like how you said, like when you're married, you know, sometimes you may have those things like, oh man, well, did I really want to get married? Like, I think, but I mean, just whatever those thoughts are. So like that's what brought that question to my head. Do you guys feel like the thought of cheating, right? You don't do the action at all, but the thought being in your head, do you guys feel that is the same thing as cheating?
No, I would say cheating is when you act on it.
So cheating is only when you act on it.
No, I would listen. I would say like,
I feel like when your emotion leaves the relationship, that's where the issue is. Like, let's say you're married, right? And you guys are in like a rough patch, and so you're like start DMing like women.
That's cheating.
That's cheating. Even though you're not physically like having sex with them, your mind and emotion is not with your partner anymore.
See, we talked about that, right? It's the contract, right? The invisible contract. Yeah. If you guys are getting married and you're married and you're saying that we're only going to be exclusive to each other, mentally, physically, emotionally, only to each other, and then you're talking to somebody else, you're giving them your emotions, or you're giving your physicality to somebody else, that's breaking the contract.
I agree with that. I don't know where the specific line is of when you are officially being unequally yoked or whatever, right? Yeah. But I do think though, I know, but I do think though, with people, whether it's relationships or not, when we think about things, we practice things in our mind, and when you practice something in your mind, you open the gates of, okay, maybe this is a possibility. Exactly. I think, for example, you're not genuinely going to entertain your mind the idea of killing someone. You're just like, I'm not killing someone. I'm not murdering someone. Yeah. But if you're thinking in your mind, maybe one down the line, I don't know. I think that makes you a little bit more susceptible of the temptation too. Yeah. I think when people have the mindset of, no, this is something it's just not who I am. Just thinking about, I think the way you speak about yourself, affirmations, it creates the person you are. Yeah. So I think, no, when you create, no, this is not who I am. This is not what I do.
You can 100% train your mind to do it.
I think once you get to that point, it's like, no, it's the dog whistle. It's like, no, this is against the,
This is exactly.
No, most definitely. No, and that's one of those things that I think it's difficult, because I think if the idea is that the thought of cheating is cheating, then the reality is everybody in the world cheats.
Yeah,
every day.
If it's in the mind.
Honestly, because you can be walking down the sidewalk with your girl, and an attractive girl walks by, and you just even having a little glimpse of like, oh wow, like she looks attractive. If we're saying that's cheating, then that's.
I think it becomes too far when, sure, no, you're gonna be attracted to people. I think it becomes far when it's like, man, if only I could get with her. I think it's when you in your mind take them to a place that you would not take them in real life. So no, I think you could low key, like, acknowledge that they're attractive is not taking them to a place, but it's like, man, if only I had a chance with her, or if only, or maybe if we break up, things don't go right. Maybe
it's a weird mindset, but still in the sense of, like, you brought up murder in this case, right? If you are thinking about murder, you can't be convicted of murder, right? If it's in your head, right? Unless you told somebody, like, I'm thinking about murder, then like, hold on, like, you might have to You gonna have to hold up, man. But
so we're all in agreement that it's not cheating, correct?
I would say it's not cheating because it's still in your brain, it's still in your thought.
Okay.
But if you
What's not cheating?
But
The
say for
thought
example,
of
if you saw this beautiful girl on the like while you're in the park and you're like, man, she's really attractive, and you acted on it, you went up to her and talked to her, right? Because man, we have to go up to the women and to start building the relationship. So if you're starting to build another relationship with somebody, what the heck you
And we
doing?
probably
You're
have to
cheating.
create. There's levels of cheating, of course,
There's
but
levels. There's levels.
and no, the thought is not cheating. Once you start pursuing it, you're
So,
starting the process.
now
You're
let me-
starting the process.
Let me word it this way and see if it changes you guys' opinion on it. So if it's still just a thought, right? But the thought comes when you're in a moment of intimacy with that significant other, right? So you're in that moment of intimacy, and while you're in that moment of intimacy with that person, your mind is thinking about someone else.
I think that's cheating.
So okay. So why is that cheating? But then just the thought in general isn't cheating.
Well, it's because you're it's like you're substituting your partner for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing. The thought is like, wow, I would like to do that with them, but it's just a thought.
Yeah.
Like I could think I want to do something with someone, but then not act on it.
Yeah.
And I haven't given my heart and my attention to them. I just thought about it. Now, if you're thinking about it like every single day, then you're fully invested in it. Then that's cheating. But if it's like a split thought and then you leave it alone,
You gotta snap yourself back out.
Yeah.
Like you gotta snap.
But if you see a girl in the park, and then you leave the park, but then every day after the park you're thinking about her, like, dude, I want to run into her again, something like that, and you didn't even talk to her. That's
It's
the issue.
fantasizing. I think fantasizing when it goes too far.
Yeah.
Acknowledging is not too far. Fantasizing.
Okay.
There you go.
You're
So
creating
that's
scenarios in
fine.
your mind.
Okay.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay. And I agree with that. Go
That's
ahead.
cheating in the mind, right? I agree with that.
Yeah. Where do you guys? I want to hear you guys' like philosophy on friends when you're in a relationship.
Ooh.
What kind of friendship can she have? What kind of?
You know, I'm gonna hit this one first, just because this is one of those topics, man. I've discussed
Yo, and
this
woo!
so many times. You know what I'm saying? I think this is what I tell people. I think depending on what type of
She's on
relationship-
3. 1, 2, she.
Okay. Now I think depending on what type of relationship you want to have, I think once you get into a serious committed relationship, especially once you're married, in my opinion, when you are married, I do not believe that you can have friends of the opposite sex. Right? And hear me out. The reality is, we are all sexual creatures, right? So the reality is, if I spend a lot of time, like let's say I'm in a relationship, right? I'm in a relationship with somebody, and we've been in a relationship for like 2-3 years. I'm thinking about marrying this girl, right? So if I'm in a relationship with this girl, and I find myself having a best friend who's a female, right? Or a woman, I'm sorry, we don't like the word female, right? And let's say, you know, I'm hanging out with her, I'm going to lunch, eating with her, stuff like that, or she's coming over watching movies, stuff like that. Ultimately, what's going to happen is, even if it's not you, somebody in that dynamic of the friendship is going to eventually develop feelings. Because at the end of the day, when you spend time with somebody, when you have deep conversation with somebody, when you're constantly talking to somebody, you're going to develop some type of feelings.
But what's wrong? At what point is feelings? I'm not saying feelings like, oh, I want to get married to them. But no, feelings like, this is a person I appreciate. They are a good friend of mine. You know, what's wrong with that?
I think the line is that we all know that in a way there has to be some kind of boundary that keeps it plutonic. There has to be a boundary.
Of course.
Whether that be this is the girl that I have to partner up with in class, so we're strictly working on schoolwork, or it's a coworker, right? Those are boundaries. Or maybe there's just not an actual attraction, so this person doesn't really look at you as a candidate. But either way, if those boundaries were somehow removed, what's stopping you? Right?
What if
and there's a chance? There's always a chance for those boundaries to be
y'all
removed.
definitely have people that you don't consider attractive. You can be friends with someone who you don't find attractive.
Yeah.
But how do you know they don't find you attractive? That's the problem.
But if they do, you don't find them attractive.
But it's still, somebody's gonna end up getting hurt in that situation.
Why is someone gonna?
Because
But they know you're with someone. If they genuinely respect your relationship and they're not trying to get with you, then
Here's the thing. I love this analogy. It's like, and you could use it in so many different ways. But if I had a Lamborghini, and I know that it has an amazing lock system, why would I park it in the hood and somebody and try to attempt to get into the car, even though I know they're probably not going to get into it because it's amazing license. Why would even park it in the hood and put it at risk into that, right? And also, you might even find a situation where there's an excellent pick locker, excellent thief, and they somehow get in.
But in that analogy, there's like no positive quality to having a friendship. No, because there's no reason to park your car in the hood that you don't want to get robbed. But also, I mean, there's no reason for friendships.
No, I'm talking about with the opposite.
There's no reason for it's always.
I think
there's nothing good can come out of it.
No, there is something good.
So I'm saying
you can still benefit, and I'm not gonna tell people don't have friends with the opposite gender, but I think it's like you have to, if you're with somebody, you gotta like tell them there is boundaries. You gotta explain the boundaries, and also like that friend. Girl, guy, they should know, like, listen, I'm in a relationship with this person. I can't be really hanging out with you like that.
And I feel like the boundaries are no secrets that you are keeping from your significant other. Yeah. If there are any conversations you have that you're not telling, that you would not be willing to tell them about, or any remarks or anything that you guys have ever even had together, shared together, that you wouldn't be able to say, oh yeah, we had this conversation. Oh yeah, I'm texting her about this right now. I think that's a problem. And of course, you want to check in with your person, make sure they're comfortable. I think even if you find them attractive, don't express it, don't acknowledge it, don't talk about whatsoever. I also think there's a level of intimacy that you should not cross, like emotionally and conversationally wise. Almost like, okay, so sure. Us being friends, we'll talk about, okay, I'm not feeling that great today. Okay, I have this problem going on. Okay, life sucks this way. But like, there's a level of different type of intimacy that you emotional intimacy that you have with a girl, and I guess you don't have that with that person.
And what is
I think you can have a friend with a woman when it's just literally the equivalent of a friend with a guy.
I think the key. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I think the key word here is boundaries. As long as you set up like strong, solid boundaries, I think you can't. If you have like strong boundaries and both parties respect the boundaries, then nothing can like go wrong. But like what Caleb is saying, like why even test the boundaries?
Of course.
Like if you're gonna put boundaries in place, don't make them weak boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, for me, if I was to ever have a best friend that was a girl, I would only like hang out with them in group settings. Yeah. Like I couldn't do anything one-on-one, just to knock out any idea in the orbit that there might be something. Just for me, for them, and for the significant other, just to put everybody at peace, have everybody on the same page.
I will say, I think one tall tale sign is that if the significant other is uncomfortable in any way, then that's a clear boundary. If they're like, okay, I'm okay with you hanging out with them in groups, but I don't want you hanging out with them, cool, that's a boundary. I don't like you texting them. Okay, sure, I won't take it. I mean, I think just do what you gotta do to make them comfortable.
I think the key thing that I don't want to get lost in this is that it is your significant other is supposed to be your safe place. So if it ever gets to a point to where you feel like you're going to that best friend, like what you said in regards to there's certain levels that you can't hit with the intimacy or whatever. Not intimacy. That wasn't the word I can't remember the word you used with that. But like in the sense of you should not be going to your girl best friend about your sadness, your depression, what any of
your
emotions, anything, right? Because that should be your. So at that point, you're already too deep in. You're at that point, you already have passed the line of.
Yeah, and with the boundaries, I think often people will be like, oh yeah, men and women can't be friends. Men and women can't be friends. Men and women can't be friends. I guess my thing is almost like, I feel like men and women were created to be monogamous. But I also believe community is a fundamental thing of human life. So it's like, I don't think if, oh yeah, you're going to be attracted to them and you won't be able to control it and something's always going to happen no matter what. I don't think life would be made the way it is. I don't think we would be meant to have friends. I think we're meant to have friends and we're meant to be monogamous. I think those things can mix.
And I agree. I think everything you said I agree with. I think where it gets tricky is when like what I said earlier, is when it starts to get to a place to where you're spending so much time with them, to where those feelings can potentially develop.
That's true.
Because like the reality is, if my dad told my mom, hey, I'm going to hang out with freaking Sarah, right, you know, at 7 o'clock on a Saturday night, I'm gonna look at that and be like, nigga, what? Like, I'm like, you cool with that? Like,
whose man's is this?
Whose man's is this? Yeah.
Like, so I mean, and that's why I say like when you're married, like I feel like it really has to go. Like when you're in a relationship, you're dating, it's okay.
And it's probably a lot more. It's probably, I think relationships like that are always safer when like you knew the person before they got together. Because if I'm with a girl and she's friends with a guy who honestly they've been friends before we got together, I don't know why it's safer. I think it's safer if I know, they've been friends since 4th grade and they might have liked each other in middle school, but they dated and realized they hate each other. It's like okay, if you are brother level, brother sister level thing where it's like y'all just don't like each other. I think that.
Now she says that he's like a brother to me. Cut that off.
I don't really like that.
No.
That phrase.
No.
But there are people where it's like
he's like a brother to me.
No, there are people though where it's like, no, you knew this person since you were a child. You don't like him.
Yeah.
You don't like him.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that there's always at some point one person was attracted to the other. Is that safe to say across the board?
I think there's always been thoughts, but I don't think there's always attraction.
Yeah,
there's always thoughts. But I mean thoughts.
That's attraction.
But I mean no thoughts like, can I be with this person? Nah.
I'm saying one person.
One person
out of the two
has always gone, hey, can I be with this person?
Somebody was like, I'm attracted to this person.
Yeah.
I think they're cute. I think they're handsome.
Okay.
Somebody.
Sure. So that means, but that would literally have to mean that every male finds every female attractive, and every female finds every male attractive at some point.
Yeah, I mean, like
that's what that argument would have to mean.
No, but I'm saying, like, you listen. As a dude, you're not going up to a girl. You're not going up to a girl if you don't find them attractive, right? So this is why I would say, like, if a dude's going up to you right now, he does not trying to be your friend.
I don't mean going up to, but it's like. There's some people you don't go up to, but they're your friends.
So right now, Pax Fordham, right now, you're telling me that you're going back to college soon, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you go back. So you're telling me that you would walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, like I think I want to be friends with you, a girl." Right, with no attraction to them, no nothing, with no other intent other than just strictly being friends with them.
Maybe not.
She looking.
Maybe not at this point. Now there definitely can be people where it's like it definitely can be where it's like you think there might be potential for something, but then you get to the point where it's just like, nah, I don't want anything, and then at that point it's like we are just friends. Like, you get to the point where you literally you think it's like, maybe not, maybe, and you're just hanging out, and you're still just friends, but there's the thought about it. And then at one point you get to the conclusion, nah, I don't want to be with them.
I think this is, we'll probably run into this a lot, but all of us here on this panel are respectable young gentlemen, right? So we think completely different. We're outliers in what I would say a lot of dudes think, right? Dudes, if they have a girl around them, they probably, they like this girl at some point or whatever, or they're just being respectful at this point in time that they can't be with her, right? But they're cool with being the friend in hopes of getting a chance, right? Yep. Oh, you got a boyfriend problem? Oh, yeah, you can talk to me about it. And they'll probably even sabotage you. Probably sabotage that relationship, telling you the wrong things and tell you you should break up with him, this and that. And look, they'll do that. They will do it. Yeah. I'll tell you, I've seen it happen. So it's like, we're a little different in kind of how I would say a large sum of guys think when it comes to like men and women being like friends.
Yeah, I definitely agree. All right, but to wrap it up, what I want to do to wrap it up today, guys, for the video, I want to go around. I want to ask everybody, what's one thing that you are looking to accomplish in this upcoming week? We're gonna go ahead and start with Pax. What is one thing that you're looking to accomplish in this upcoming week?
I'm going back to school, so I want I want to get better at scheduling. I think one of my weaknesses is I haven't always been the best at managing time. You know, I'm skilled, I'm smart, but I haven't always been the best at managing and sticking to things. So no, I want to create that schedule. Every hour I say I'm going to do something, I'm doing it. Time.
Yeah. All right, Jackson.
I say being productive this week. This is my last week before I go to school. I just want to make sure I do, everything I can. So I don't go into this school year thinking like, dang, did I waste my break? Yeah. So yeah, I'm going into a new internship this week. Hopefully, I bring to the table, what I can bring to the table, and shoot for the stars.
Man, it's always about getting that money with me, man.
It's
always about getting the money, man. So, also I will say I need to get better about sleep, man. I need to get better about sleep. Yeah. I mean, like. Getting 5 hours, 6 hours sleep is not cutting it. You know what I'm saying? It affects your performance. Yeah. And, so in a way, I'm thinking I'm going 100% when I'm really at like 85 when I could be at 100, and that helps a lot. So I would say I could work on that.
No, most definitely. I would say for me, man, probably honestly I'm be working this week. Obviously, I think just get my mind ready for school start back. 100%. Really, just trying to focus on. The things I can control in general, and just trying not to overthink. I feel like recently I've been overthinking a lot, so just trying to just focus on things I can control, and just go about it like that. And also just try to freaking just. I think one of the things that I've been struggling with lately is thinking so far into the future, right? Instead of just thinking, okay, what do I need to do?
What can you do today?
I've
been trying to become a today person too.
Yeah, so that's one of the big things.
Living in the moment.
Well.
And I think thinking about the future keeps you from doing what you're supposed to do today too, because you get into a failure mindset. Like, I'm already not where I'm supposed to be 5 years from now, so I guess I better get it.
Yeah, most definitely.
I do think it's not a problem with kind of looking towards the future. Like what you're doing right now should have some kind. Like what you do right now has an impact, which is going to happen tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. So you do got to think a couple pieces ahead in the chessboard. So.
Yeah,
most definitely. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in again to to this podcast. Excuse me. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. You already know the vibes. Till next time, you already know what it is. Whose man's is? Yeet!